I mean, if they told you you had to spend a Lamborghini Urus Performante with every option just to get this paint job, would you actually do it? That is the ultimate question we're going to answer today when reviewing my new $1.5 million one-of-one Pacific Color Stream exposed carbon Senna. All right, guys, welcome back to Exotic Car Hacks, and today we are taking a look at my latest acquisition, my fourth McLaren Senna. That's right, I have had 3 other McLaren Sennas before, and every single one of those cars was absolutely amazing. Ended up driving them and making well over 6 figures each and every time I sold them, which made it an undeniably good opportunity to continue buying them if you can get them at the right price. But you know, the last 3 times I bought Sennas, every single time the price index of the Senna kept rising. I bought my first $1.4 million exposed carbon Senna for 950 grand back in the day. And this was pretty incredible, 400K off of MSRP. I just want to remind you where we were pre-COVID around a lot of these car prices. And then later on ended up buying my second vermilion red brand new Senna 2019, again, since all cars were made in 2019, a $1.1 million sticker, and I paid roughly, again, $950,000. But you can see the difference previously from all of that to such little. Now, I did sell my carbon fully exposed car for over $1.3 million on Bring a Trailer, and you can actually see the listing right here. Pretty incredible to have made that kind of profit on a car. Then my second vermilion red car sold for 100K over MSRP, basically making me, again, roughly about 200K-ish on the car itself. And then came my third car, which you may have seen on the channel, which actually belonged to Alicia Keys. My previous car, or should I say Swiss Beats, her husband, who owned the white McLaren Senna with a lot of the blue livery on it. I bought that car really, really well, about 100K back of MSRP, and sold it slightly over MSRP in an urgent manner because I needed to finish building my new house. Needing all that cash, I needed it overnight, so I got rid of it and sold it to a dealer, but still made a healthy 6 figures doing that. So it wasn't that bad of a gig for me, but nonetheless, that dealer sold my car for $1.3 million, making a profit of over $250,000 on my very same car. So, you know, the money seems to be there in the Sennas, but this time I've done something even more incredible than before. I bought probably the most expensive spec Senna that's ever been created. This has a sticker that nears $1.5 million. That's right, this sticker on this alone, being a one-of-one car, is pretty heavy. Now, where did I buy this so that I can make hundreds of thousands of dollars? This car was listed at $2 million. And again, the sticker was $1.5 million. And it's gonna be interesting to see where it actually goes from here. Partly because, first off, the Senna market over the 1.5 range is gonna be very limited for now, but I'm expecting these cars to start boosting up anytime now, one more time all the way to the $2 million mark. Now, today, I didn't bring this car here so that we could have a conversation about the values of the car. I'm just sharing these things because at Exotic Car Hacks, we're all about driving cars for free and learning from the algorithms of where cars are heading from a dollar standpoint, which is why, again, if you're unfamiliar with car hacking, click the first link in the video. And then if you're familiar with car hacking and are ready to actually start playing in this game instead of jerking off at home, then click the second link and join Exotic Car Hacks. But today we're gonna actually take a look at this because this car is ultimately a masterpiece. It sits here in my collection amongst a $3 million 918, another $1.8 million Elva, a $3 million Countach, and a $3.5 million Chiron, and across a lot of other cars. But this car, just because of its paint, literally deserves a place here in this collection because of how incredible it is. Every single person that sees this car in the flesh tells me this is the craziest shit they've ever seen. And we didn't do a video properly showing you how crazy this car is. So this isn't a review of the Senna. You can Google or look back at some of our old videos. We've reviewed the Senna multiple times. In short, for those of you that may have missed it, the car rattles like like a race car in every single gear, every single place. There's absolutely zero place in the car where you're not going to hear either rocks hit the carbon from under or some kind of rattling coming from somewhere on the inside. It's incredibly fast in a straight line, it's incredibly planted in a turn, and it's incredibly crazy looking. But outside of that, really the specification is what makes the car special. But you know, the majority of Sennas, which they should all come this way, some people delete this, I don't know why, have glass doors. That's something that's really, really special, so you can see the curbs around the racetrack, and have these little tiny windows instead of major windows because there's nowhere for that to go into the glass. So, you know, superb design element, very unique for a hypercar. And I think this is highly undervalued just based on design alone. I think these cars are gonna be worth a lot of money, and to be able to pick up a carbon Senna to begin with, under 1.5 million in today's market is pretty exciting to begin with. And then to have a monochromatic Senna like this even exist was crazy enough, let alone an exposed carbon one. So this one-of-one car, I'm just gonna show it to you today so you can glaze at how beautiful it is. I wanna just point out before we even start that even the key is monochromatic. And so if people don't understand what that means, basically it's called the Pacific Color Stream by McLaren, which means that you have 5 different colors, like some blues, purples, and gold, etc. And depending on the angle in which you look at the car, the color is always a different color. And it's pretty crazy because once you blend that craziness with some black carbon, like a regular car, it's truly unbelievable to look at. Like something that is straight up out of a video game or something, because you just don't expect this. It's absolutely nuts. So I want you to kind of glaze around it, take a look at it. I'm gonna point out some of the key features that make this different outside of the paint, because they've really gone out with the spec here, spending all the money on the crazy carbon and some of these design options. So first off, you'll notice again the paint in both monochromatic and then the regular carbon, all in gloss of course, and then you'll see these eyelids done in purple here. Purple seems to be the main theme of this car, and it carries on the inside. You'll see the purple inlets here, you'll see the purple eyelids, but one thing you'll notice on this side, and I want to stay here for a second, you'll notice this beautiful purple calipers on one side of the car with these monochromatic, again, Pacific Color Stream center locks, which is pretty incredible. But on this side, you'll notice something a little bit different, because this time you'll see some purple caps to match the purple calipers. So again, a little bit different, a little bit more exciting. And one thing I want to point out, because people always are going to wonder, especially if they're new and don't understand how cars work, they're going to say, well, why didn't they just make this bottom part in monochromatic paint? Usually you don't do that, because if you're going to damage the car, usually it's the bottom part of the car that gets damaged. And remember, if you damage this, there's no way to repair this. So if you damage exposed carbon, usually you have to get a hole in your body. So in this case, if you expose the lip or break it, you can just order another lip and you don't actually have to like give up the car ultimately. So this design continues. Some really cool features here. A lot of people don't know, but Sennas also come, the top can either be glass or carbon. This has all carbon options, again, with the glass here, here, and here. This can also be carbon at times, but here it's glass and it works wonderful with the car. You have 18-karat heat shield with the red LED light under, so when you turn it on, the engine turns red, and you can see the 18-karat heat shield, which is like roughly a $30,000 option. Very, very cool option. You can see, again, more of the gold here around the exhaust. This is the same thing that's in my Lanzante, and pretty exciting. Now, I also want to point out, a lot of people sometimes get confused about all the cars in my collection. The reason I allow you to see my tags is because I don't care if you run them. Every single car here is owned by me, and every single car here is owned by me in cash. So take a look here on the inside. I've added my own 01200 sticker. That is basically part of my collection. Any car that is a one of none basically gets my personal logo sticker. And here on the inside, you'll see the gloss carbon instead of the typical dry carbon. And this works wonderful. I had this on my Vermilion red car. It was beautiful inside. In my opinion, the interior carbon and gloss is an absolute must regardless of what the exterior of the car is. You'll see the forged carbon tube, which is unbelievably sexy. And then you'll see all the gloss carbon fiber interior. I want to point out a couple of things. This car also had these insane seats, and these are factory, which is again super awesome, with these purple door struts that are also, again, like another design element. But if you look at these seats, they're just unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. Now, you would kind of wonder, like, well, there's a lot of reasons PJ bought this car, but actually the reason I actually bought this car, and I want to point this out, it has the premium audio, of course, most of these do, the B&O sound system, but I want to show you something that I think is pretty incredible, because a lot of people maybe don't realize this, but this car also has this other thing, which I think is nuts. Look at this. It's a little Panda that's got a bamboo stick, and it's either giving it a blowjob or singing a tune. But to me, that's what life's about right there. Like, I don't know if you guys know, but pandas have 3 nuts. And that's pretty incredible animal right there. If you can have 3 nuts, can you imagine how much sex that panda has generally? And they fuck around all day. So be more like the panda. You know, I know Bruce Lee said be like water. I'm telling you, be like panda. Fatter and having more fun with life. But anyway, so the car's interior is absolutely nuts. You can see every corner of it. I'm just like, kind of like just letting you take it in instead of just ear fucking you about it. It's currently sitting in race mode. That's why it's super low to the ground. But look at these details. Even here, outside of the chromatic paint here, look at this. Look at this mix of carbon fiber exposed here with tinted, all in the same panel with the Senna logos that way. I mean, that's just crazy. They've done such a good job at bringing these little small details together into this unbelievably beautiful and amazing car. And even the McLaren logos, obviously here in purple, painted on the car here, just stunning, like absolutely stunning. So no matter how you look at it, this car is an absolute masterpiece and one of the prettiest and most exciting Sennas I think that's ever been on the market. It originally was in California. The collector apparently had this and a 675 that had a matching paint, just not exposed carbon. I just decided to buy this because I felt too poor driving a 675. So this is absolutely amazing, and it's a show head turner at every single event or every single place it goes, more so than even my Chiron or anything else, which makes it even more amazing. So the only thing really left to know is I'm gonna do 2 different set of wheels on this. So I asked in my other video what you guys thought, but this is an actual video for this. I'm either gonna be doing a polished lip with a gunmetal center, or I'm gonna be doing a full carbon lip and a gunmetal center. So let me know your thoughts. Do I keep it in the black theme, or do I go out and become a little bit more flamboyant, a little bit, you know, on that side of the toy, and do some polished lips on here? So would love to know your thoughts, but I wanted to give you guys a good glimpse of this car. So the majority of this video is really just taking in how hot this looks and how well put together it is. An amazing, amazing collector grade Senna will be here in the collection. Yes, down the road, of course, this will be resold, not today, but you know, I'm really passionate about cars, so I love my cars. Now, I know a lot of people think I'm just like, oh, every few weeks I change my mind. A lot of cars in this collection, I've been here for quite some time. A lot of cars are over 1-2 years old now in the collection. Some of them are very old. I mean, the Phantom's like 4 years old, the Chiron's 3 years old, the AMG GT is 3 years old, the GT2 RS is 2.5 years old. The Ford GT is now 6 years old here in the collection. A lot of these cars, while some switch, etc., don't actually switch just because they're worth more money, but they also switch because they get bored of them and they actually suck to drive or something happens. But we have another really, really cool 7-figure car coming to the channel next week that I just bought. It's gonna stun you because I've resisted very hard buying these cars. It'll be very interesting. I spent a little bit over $1 million on it. Super, super cool looking car, very artsy. So we'll check out the next hypercar that joins the collection. I call a hypercar anything over 1 million in value. And basically, like, so once it actually arrives here, you'll see it. It's not as big as a regular hypercar. It's quite different and unique, and I hope you guys like it. But anyways, again, thanks again for watching, and I'll catch you next time for Exotic Car Hacks.